Hi, my name is Toby Pierce, and I'd like to share a devotional thought with you today. I like it when we sing, don't you? And we sang a song here recently that brings some joy to my heart. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses. And the voice I hear, falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy that we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Wouldn't it be great to be in a garden alone with the Lord? You know, Adam and Eve got to be in the Garden of Eden alone with God. And then Satan comes along and spoils it all, and they're ushered out of the garden. In Genesis 3:23, it says, "Therefore the Lord sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man and placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life." And so Adam and Eve were taken out of the garden. You know, the Garden of Gethsemane was a peaceful place. The Garden of Gethsemane was a place that Jesus went to have a peaceful place. And then Satan comes into the picture, and even though Jesus did not sin, he's falsely arrested and taken out of the garden. Back at the Last Supper, John 13 and verse 2 says, "And supper being ended, and the devil having put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him." Satan put it into the heart of Judas to betray Jesus. That's how Satan affected Jesus' removal from the garden. And so at the Garden of Gethsemane, John 18 and verse 1 says, "When Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples across the brook Kidron, and there was a garden which he and his disciples entered. Now Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place, for Jesus often met there with his disciples. So Judas, having procured a band of soldiers and some officers from the chief priests and the Pharisees, went there with lanterns and torches and weapons." You know, Jesus had to undo what Adam had done. Romans 15 and verse 18 says, "Therefore, as one trespass led to condemnation for all men, so one act of righteousness leads to justification and life for all men." One man condemnation, one man righteousness. Now, does that mean, as some teach, that all of Adam's descendants, all the world, are born in sin? No, if you understand the first half of the verse that way, you'd have to take the second half of the verse that way, wouldn't you? Let's look at that again. Romans 5 and 18. "Therefore, as one trespass led to condemnation for all men, so one act of righteousness leads to justification and life for all men." If all are sinful because of Adam, then all are made righteous because of Christ. Or are only those who will obey Christ made righteous through him? Not everyone will be saved. In fact, Jesus says that relatively few will be saved. Matthew 7 and 14. No, just like only those who obey the Lord will be saved, only those accountable souls who fall into temptation are made sinful. Before Adam's sin was not known in the world. After Adam's sin, being righteous, being cleansed from those sins, was not possible until Christ's death. We do know that every accountable soul has sinned. Romans 3 and 23, "And that the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ, his Son." Romans 6 and 23. Do you have a peaceful place, somewhere where you go, either physically or mentally, to find peace? I hope you do. I hope your garden, I hope your peaceful place gives you peace. But Satan, is all too accessible, even in your quiet garden spot. But always remember that the Lord is there with you too. James 4 and verse 7 says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Draw near to God and he will draw near to you." Make sure the Lord reigns in your garden spot, your peaceful place. And whatever is happening in your life, deep down, you and the Lord can share joy together. Joy that you're an eternal soul and that Jesus gave his all to arrange for you and him to live forever together. Submit yourselves therefore to God, James 4 and verse 7 says. That's the prerequisite, isn't it? That needs to happen first. Submit yourselves to God, and then resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. I hope you have a blessed day.
If you would like more information, or if you'd like to participate in our Bible studies and worship services, we would love to have you come join us at the Northeast Church of Christ in Albuquerque, New Mexico.